Wednesday night, people in the room podcast. I always forget where my camera is, but welcome Wednesday night. A huge weekend just passed, and who better to talk to about the MMA weekend, nationally, locally? No other than none other than I can't even talk. I smoked a bunch of weed before the show. Jeff Clark.
Hello, Steve. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, and thanks for fucking up my whole introduction, Steve. But you know what I mean. Jeff, we've been like just here for like 10 minutes trying to get this going.
We practiced that 4 times.
It was fucking horrible, wasn't it, people? At least the template looks good. At least I got you on. I got you in there, man. But Jeff, huge weekend, man. As far as MMA, we had bare knuckle MMA. We had Bellator, I do believe, UFC. We had 2 local cards with Neff and Cage Titans. Man, did you get to watch a little bit of everything? Like, how'd your weekend go as far as getting to see a couple of things that were going on?
Yeah, I mean, the drive up to Bangor, I made it there like an hour before the event started, so it was perfect. I sat down, I started working on the article, and, watched the NEF fights. And then as I was driving home, I pulled over twice to watch the co-main and the main event of the UFC. I pulled into like the rest stop on the highway in Maine and just sitting in my car watching 2 guys fight. I don't know if anyone was walking by the window. What's this guy doing?
I'm sure you're not the only one, but yeah, it's been done many times. I tend to put it on my dashboard as I drive and just take my chances. But I'm a daredevil. But what'd you think of the UFC card, my man? We'll start with that. I mean, a new champion in another weight class, man. What'd you think about, that co-main and main event there?
I thought they were both awesome. I was super excited for Yuri and Alex anyway. And I feel like I knew that's how it was going to go. Like, Yuri fights with his hands down. He's super fun, super exciting, but he fights with his hands down. And Alex is literally one of the best kickboxers ever. He was a double weight champ in Glory Kickboxing, which is like the kickboxing and you know what I mean? So he's I feel like going into a fight with him with your hands down just says bad news all over it. But at one point, Yuri did pop him and push him back, and it was exciting. But I feel like I knew that's how it was going to go. I think Alex is a threat to any 205 division. As we know, the 205 division has been a mess since John Jones left. It literally hasn't had a real champ in like a year or two. Everyone keeps getting injured and dropping the title. But yeah, I think Alex will stay up there a long time. I thought it was super cheesy. He called out Izzy. Like, dude, there's knock out another 205er. Claim your 205 right. Make Izzy chase you.
Yeah, that tells you that he's still not over that loss, and Izzy got some space in his head right now. But yeah, I guess. So when he called out Izzy, was it to come up to 205 to fight him, or was it to get another fight at 185?
Yeah, he even said, like, I'm not going to make you fight 3 fights like you made me. Because remember, Izzy said something in the beginning like, oh, he has to prove himself. He's going to fight at least 3 times if I fight him. So he said, come on up to 205. But Izzy already tried making 205 to fight Jan.
Yeah.
And I think he weighed in at 195. I don't even know what he weighed. He's so tiny.
Yeah, he's a real lean guy. I mean, muscular, but lean. He doesn't carry a lot of weight. Yeah, exactly, definitely. So, yeah, that's scary for him to go up. But if he want to make some money, and it's not how much has he got to lose? He's going up in weight. It's kind of like Volk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think. Well, Izzy just said he's going to take 3 years off, and he might have been bullshitting because that's what John Jones did. Took 3 years off. And he's like, he wants to bulk up, maybe, and do what John Jones did. Supposedly, that's, it could just be Izzy trolling everyone.
How old is Izzy? I mean, he's younger than John Jones. At that point, John Jones was bulking up, correct?
Yeah, and I don't know exactly how old. I'm going to guess like 33. can't be too old.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would love to see him fight at 205. There's really not many contenders, which is funny because I feel like the 205 division in this area is light as well. But in the UFC, it is like, who's the next contender? Anthony Smith?
Yeah.
Maybe, but would that get anyone excited? I think Johnny Walker would be awesome. I think Johnny Walker won that last fight. He got illegally kneed, and they called it a no contest instead of a DQ. So if Johnny Walker wins that, he's fighting for the title. And I think him throwing flying knees at Alex would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be a cool fight. That definitely would be a great, great fight right there. Yeah, and Johnny Walker, as we know, I don't think he was going to fight. I think he just fucked up. He thought he was in the desert. You know what I mean? It's like the doctor sucked. That doctor fucker was a douchebag.
Yeah, I mean, if he was in Brazil, would he just said, like, I'm in the jungle? Like, but did he think that was the answer? Like,
I mean, come on, you're in a fight, man. I can't even remember Abu Dhabi. I can never fucking remember that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's he gonna name the province they're in?
It's like you got to be.
And then other than that, the main event. I mean, I lost all my parlays. I thought Sergey Pavlov, which I think Tom Aspinall is one of the most talented heavyweights there is, but Sergey's on a 6-fight win streak, knocking everyone out in the first round. How do you pick against that guy? And it took him a minute and 9 seconds.
Yeah, a minute and 9 seconds. All right, let's put it this way: if they fought 10 times, how do you think it would go? Same, minute and 9 seconds.
I go 50-50 after seeing that. Before that, I would have said 9 out of 10 go to Sergey. But yeah, I didn't know this as well. Like, I didn't look into Tom Aspinall enough. But I guess he was a pro boxer who went into MMA. I did not know that. So I'm thinking, Sergey's just going to charge at him with these flying hammers. And Tom just juked him and dropped him. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good, you know what I mean? It's a good story. His dad, all that stuff going on. It's cool when a new guy gets the limelight and gets the light, because that, they really focus on that person and they get their dues, and you learn a lot of the backstories and little things coming up. So they're really going to focus on him now, getting him in in the limelight, a little background of him and stuff. And of course, our guy Dylan at New England MMA, he'll be going to look for Alex one of these days down at Texera's gym to get a word with him. He's killing it in Connecticut and Central Mass, getting some interviews with some big people that way. So I'm sure Dylan's going to be all over that gym coming soon.
Yeah, Dylan was crushing it with interviews down there. He actually just had a recent one with Glover too. I don't know if it was recent, but he uploaded it. And then I also love this whole Alex Yuri story, because Yuri beat Glover. He literally choked him out. He was losing every single round, and he choked him out in the last round. And Glover tapped, and this was Alex's almost revenge. Like, he was coming back to get revenge for his mentor, and he did. He KOs him. And I don't know if I saw somewhere, maybe someone just posted it or it was just made up, but I'm pretty sure Alex was like, I'm bringing this belt back for you. Like, I'm giving this one to you. Like, this is your belt.
Nice.
And that's badass. I don't know if that's true, but I mean, it was like I wish they played that storyline more at the UFC. Like, I hope with them buying, I mean, I don't know how you feel about them buying the WWE, but I hope with them merging with the WWE, they do get more into storylines. I do like that storyline. Like, that would have been awesome. Like, Alex is out for revenge for his mentor.
That's awesome, man. That's a great story. I'm sure they're gonna do something with that. If the UFC doesn't, ESPN MMA, all that stuff, they make up cool stuff, memes and little stories, and I'm sure Alex will be all over the internet and showing Glover and all that cool stuff over there, man. Another fight before we move on is Mackenzie Dern against Jessica Andre, man. That was a fucking Wow, I didn't expect that fight. I thought, more grappling and but Mackenzie, she wanted she said she got out of her game and got suckered into kind of a slugfest there, and she didn't do well in that.
No, I don't know what that was. I mean, she's a jujitsu master. Use what you have. Like, yeah, I don't know what that was. She just came out and started swinging everywhere, and she doesn't really knock people out. So, and Jessica does. Jessica knocks a lot of people down or out. She has a lot of power. So, yeah, that was rough. And Mackenzie Dern's awesome. Her story's awesome too. The whole dad being a jiu-jitsu coach and all that. But like, I feel like every time she's right there, she gets knocked down. Like, I swear, like 3 years ago, they were almost going to give her a title shot.
Yeah.
If she won that, she's getting a title shot.
Yeah, I mean, she's going through a lot, and she's still going. I remember seeing the pre-fight interviews leading up, and she was speaking about how this fight is paying for her husband, is paying her marital support or something to her husband. It's helping pay it. So she's basically fighting to support her husband. And that's bizarre how that's on the other foot there, man. I mean, he has to keep up that lifestyle. And he was probably making 1/10 of what she is. And I'm sure she's still not even making, you think she's making $1 million a year? Maybe that combined? Maybe, but take away.
Maybe if she gets good sponsorships,
yeah.
But I doubt it. Like, I don't know how much she makes a fight, but I'm going to guess she's, I don't know. I don't even want to throw a number out there, but I'm going to guess like 100. She can't be like much more than that.
Yeah. And then you got to cut that in half and, all that,
Coaches, managers, gyms, everything. So, like, what's wild is Jessica Andrade also said she's going through a divorce, and this also helps pay for her money. So they were both fighting, saying that this was helping to pay for their friggin' divorce.
Maybe they should get together. Maybe they should. They'll have a full paycheck again.
But yeah, UFC questions as always. Super excited for the next pay-per-view. You were talking about you're gonna do a fight companion that night.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it too. What did I say? 296. There's a bunch of fight nights and everything in between.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that you will be at doing some cowboy kind of stuff in New Hampshire, correct?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be at the PBR that day. I know I'm definitely going Friday. It's Friday and Saturday. I mean, it might work out where I can squeeze that in and then drive down there anyway. Meet you for the pay-per-view.
Well, I do have my hat for that show, correct?
Oh, I still gotta come get that.
Yeah, you gotta come get this fucking hat, Jeff.
Man.
What's going on,
back
man?
down soon. But yeah, no, I'm super excited for the next UFC pay-per-view too. I think that Leon versus Kobe is gonna be amazing. I want Tony Ferguson to bloody up Patty Pimblett and submit him. I think Patty's I don't know. I think Patty's going to get smashed when he starts getting up in the real competition at 155.
I hope so. I mean, he's been going a while, so the pressure's going to be all over him. Tony, God, he's getting a gift, a fight. You know what I mean? I thought he would be gone out of the UFC after this, but maybe they're trying to put the dagger in him or hoping that the dagger will be in him and he'll just stop fighting after this. But what a fight to put on. I mean, we thought Tony was done, and all of a sudden they throw him at Patty, but you don't know what's gonna go on here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Super excited for that one.
Well, my man, let's move on. I don't know much about Bellator. There was a couple of Bellator fighters that when I put up that we were going to be talking about national MMA on my Instagram stories, they were like all over it. I was like, who are these guys? But I'll show you later on. We don't know much about Bellator. We're going to move to local MMA right now. No, we're not. We are going to move to national bare knuckle MMA, but a couple of local fighters from New England did fight on it Friday night. Gamebred MMA, George Masvidal. Jeff, man, that was a good card, fun. A lot of little mishaps in that card as far as reffing and stretcher use. But what'd you think about that card overall, man? Something different and, kind of cool to see people get bloodied up.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. I think Jorge Masvidal is one of the best people to run a promotion. Just the backstory he brings on himself, coming up fighting in Miami in the backyard to like running this promotion, bare knuckle fighting. Like it's a movie. And I think the card itself, I think it's cool. I think he's getting it stacked. I mean, obviously some cards are even bigger than other, but I mean, when you have Randy Costa fighting Jason Knight, like that's a badass fight, and that's a badass promotion. Like I could even imagine signing those two. But yeah, we had like Randy obviously won his fight, which was awesome, first round, which is great. We also had some locals lose. Joe the Party, he also obviously lost his fight. And then, yeah, I actually didn't see the main event. Roy Nelson won. Did you get to watch that?
No, but I got the highlights on right now that I'm showing as we're speaking about it. But I did hear that Roy had a lot of control at top time, and Belcher got a hometown or a game bred decision in this fight. But what I'm watching right now is Roy get his ass kicked against the cage. So I don't know. I didn't see the fight. I don't have an opinion on it. But I just heard Roy had a lot of control, a lot of top pressure, which is going on right now as we're watching. So, and I don't know. But they were really high on Belcher and Belcher fighting. I forgot who they had in line for him next.
Wasn't he like a middleweight?
Yeah, and yes, in the UFC he was. I believe he was middleweight. He could have even been welterweight when he started.
Yeah, I remember him being way smaller, going to fight Roy Nelson. Like, you figured he'd have the cardio on his side.
Yeah, it was. Once you're out of the UFC, man, you can take as much HGH, as much juice as you want, man. You can go to heavyweight pretty fucking quick.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? It's like, so I'm showing some pictures right now. It's going through all this bullshit, but Randy Costa and Knight did get fight of the night.
Okay.
So they made some money there. Both of them, great fight. Happy for Randy Costa with that knockout. I'm showing Knight's face right now. Now he had a lot of stitches, a lot of broken teeth. Man, it's no joke that show.
No, it's very tough. I don't know if you saw the bare knuckle fight between Mike Perry and Luke Rockhold. He like rearranged Rockhold's teeth. He was like, I'm done. Like, it's scary, man. It's tough, but on that note, super exciting year for Randy Costa. You know, after having a rough run in the UFC, literally he fought in June, had a round one TKO, 58 seconds. He was supposed to fight recently as well, Johnny Campbell, which would have been awesome. And then obviously he just fought Jason Knight in a round one victory. You got 2 round one victories, and what a year for him. What a 2023 for Randy Costa.
As you're speaking right now, I'm showing the end of his fight when he just put him on his ass after knocking some teeth out, or a few more teeth. And man, nothing but camaraderie and sportsmanship between these two guys in this fight, man. Awesome for Randy. Made a bunch of money, and I'm sure he's going to be back for Game Bread. Fighting for something even bigger. He's trying to get back in the UFC. He's still young, and there's still time for him to get there if he keeps performing, man. He just went in a losing streak, and sometimes they give you another shot down the line.
Yeah, I mean, they always say when people trying to make it back, they stay busy, they keep fighting, and they make a statement. I mean, play his highlight reel for the year, and he's made a statement already.
Another thing, I'm passing through all these fights right now.
Yeah.
But Jeff, let me get to you for a second. There you are. There was another local there in Chris Sauer who fought Hector Lombard. And as we know, Chris Sarro is a BKFC veteran. Hasn't done well in the past couple of years. I think he might be 0-4 for BKC, 0-5 in his last fights, all getting knocked out. Fought some tough guys in there. But then he takes on Hector Lombard in fucking in bare knuckle boxing, bare knuckle MMA, which I didn't think heading into this fight he was going to be prepared for Hector Lombard, because we know Hector's ground game is incredible, and he's a beast on his feet. Man, talk about this fight, man. And I mean, it lasted a minute and friggin' 20 seconds, if that. Talk about it, man. And I just seen Chris outmatched in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, Chris is a tough fucking dude. Tough guy, definitely. But, Hector Lombard is just a different beast all in his own. If you look at his recent record, like, he's been staying busy doing this bare knuckle boxing as well. He was basically undefeated in bare knuckle until he fought the champ, Lorenzo Hunt. And Lorenzo Hunt is crushing everybody. So basically, no one's been able to touch him in this bare knuckle boxing. So Hector Lombard, I feel like, was definitely a favorite in that match. And like you said, it only lasted a minute. We didn't get to see as much. Hector Lombard does what he does. He got him down. On the Tapology report, it says tap out to punches from back mount. So I guess that's what they're going to call it as.
Yeah. Basically, he tapped out to strikes.
Yeah.
And there was controversy in the beginning of I mean, there was no beginning, no controversy in the beginning. I mean, when they made the announcement of who won the fight, Hector got a DQ for illegal blows to the back of the head. And I was watching it live, and I was along with the commentators. I didn't see one punch that really hit flush to the back of the head where or the back of the neck where the ref would call it. Chris gave up his back real quick. He got flattened out. He was flat. He had his hands up like this, and Hector was just cranking him and hitting him on the side of the head on the the gloves. And Chris tapped, and Hector got off him, and that's when the ref called it, and then they DQ'd him. So I didn't know how the ref didn't call it or warn him at all, or even give or call the fight himself. It took Chris tapping out for the fight to get called off.
Yeah, that's weird. I feel like the ref would have jumped in soon anyway. So he was caught. He was in a very bad position. So yeah, yeah. Hector Lombard, I mean, is a scary night out for anybody. But yeah.
All right, my man. Let's get to Neff, because you were there. Let's talk about it, man. You went to Bangor. You said that was what, like 2.5 hours from you?
Yeah. It's about 2.5 with no traffic. 3 if there is. But I feel like when Neff does go to Bangor, like, they own that area. Like, everybody comes out. That place is packed. Like, not only all the seats are sold, but I mean, people are standing from wall to wall, ready for the action. And it was really cool because it was Veterans Day. They had some things going on. Like, they had some veterans there. They had some of the fighters. Shoot, I should have had this ready. Some of the fighters were raising money, and they were able to. I think, was it Ed Davis? Who was it? Somebody was able to get like 20 veterans there.
Oh no, no idea. But
I should have written down. But yeah, no, everyone there was doing some big things for the veterans. But the fights were awesome. Were you watching them? Oh yeah, you were. You were messaging on the group, right?
Yeah. I was just listening to all your guys and watching the Travis's play-by-play, watching all your videos and highlights. Which man, you did a great job getting some real good fucking clips out there, man. New England MMA was firing on all cylinders Saturday night with Travis at Cage Titans and you at Neff. You did your play-by-play was doing a lot of the video work, which is great, man. It made the fighters happy, so good for you guys, man.
Yeah, Travis is definitely the best, hands down, at capturing the moment in the play-by-play, and I feel like I'm definitely getting better at that. But I love capturing the videos, and I feel like I just always sit in a good spot when they put me in NEF. Like they're Kira Innocente. I can never pronounce the last name right, so sorry, but she got the finish right in front of me. Those that where she is on her back and she flattens her out and starts throwing down the ground and pound. That was awesome. I feel like that Ed Davis video got almost 10,000 views on Facebook right now, and I feel like the fights just all delivered. A lot of first round finishes, a lot.
I'm gonna go to New England MMA's page because Neff doesn't have much of. Oh, actually, it's not on Instagram. Why am I going here? I gotta go to Facebook to get that stuff. Yeah, it's on New England MMA. New England MMA's Facebook. All those pages. I forgot, Jeff. You don't have access to the Instagram to post that shit.
I've tried logging on a million times. Lars has even used my phone and logged in, and it just won't let me on your Instagram.
Jesus,
so yeah,
criminals.
I'll have to. On that note, NEF does have some really cool stuff on Facebook as well.
Yeah, they have a lot. They have a lot of highlights, but on their Instagram, all they have is interviews, man.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I wish they,
Yeah, the Ed Davis video, I feel like when I zoomed in right through the fence and got the tap, that was such a sick video.
Yeah.
He twisted his back around towards us. But as far as the fights, I mean, the biggest winners, I think Nate White is just a superstar. I think he is just delivering every single time. And Nate the Mule on the way.
Did I not call that fight? What was I, about 10, 12, 15 seconds off from that fight? Where did it go?
Yeah, you called it. You said a minute in. That's basically all it took. It was very quick. And Cody is a formidable opponent, and Nate just walks through him. But he walks through almost everybody, dude. Nate is a scary dude. So yeah, anytime he fights, you got to be there. And then the fight I mentioned, Kira Innocente, she beat Lindsay Valentine. And the crowd was definitely behind her. If you saw the video, I zoomed around and people were chanting her name when she was coming out. It was great. I mean, Miles Emery too. He gets a submission. I would have never thought that, but he just shows that he can finish the fight wherever it goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna while you're talking, I'm gonna show some. I got the Facebook. I got your Facebook up now from New England MMA, so I'm gonna show some of that stuff of the fights while you're talking about it. But Glory Watson, another victory. This time a decision victory. Usually she's knocking people out, but talking about a good opponent, she had a very, very well seasoned opponent that was in there with her. So Glory Watson, another win, another step closer to the UFC.
Yeah, I think Glory Watson is continuing to show everybody that she has what it takes. She can finish by submission. She can go all 5 rounds. I think people doubted Shauna, her opponent, but as I was talking to some of the fighters, they were even mentioning how Shauna is just a boxer, like a brawler. And they were saying Shauna's going to be tougher than people are giving her, and she was. She stood in there trading punches, but Glory was just a little bit quicker. Glory was able to mix in the kicks a little bit more. Glory, they were firing shots to the bell. They were firing shots to the last round. And yeah, I mean, Glory has such a big following too. That whole crowd loves her, and she's so humble. You can tell when they're giving her praise, she's just smiling and everything. And I think she has potential to be a superstar.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him bring more people up there. She definitely has some great potential.
Well, beside that fight and maybe 2 more, most were first round finishes, man. real quick finishes. One thing we know about Neff, they get done early, which I do kind of like because you get to get out of there, have a beer. You're not driving home too late. But the card fly by for you, Jeff, out in Bangor.
Yeah, those cards always fly by, and I think the fighters just go all out when they fight at NEF, and they're just trying to finish it. And we get a lot of first round finishes from some really good fights. Now, on that note, they also don't ever take a break. Never. I've been to a lot of promotions where there's almost too long of breaks, like 40-minute breaks in between fights almost. Long intros, stuff like that. Realistically, once the fighter's out the cage, the next guy's music is playing. And they're rolling right through them, which is good because, it's not a 10-hour thing. But yeah, wild amount of first-round finishes.
Ryan Sanders, third round finish there, man. He went, a little longer than that first round, but he did call a finish in that fight, man. He didn't fight no bum, man. He fight Sage Philippe. How was that fight, man, watching cage side?
I loved it. It was awesome. It was actually one of the ones where, I stopped looking at my phone and I was just, holding the phone for the video, but watching and enjoying the fight because it was good. Those guys were going at it. Sage is just, he's an animal. He's tough, dude. He's really tough, and he was bringing it. He was firing shots. Ryan he's just great at what he does. He really is. He figures out the game plan. If it's not working, he'll switch his game plan. Or he'll just go in and brawl with you and just make it ugly. And I think that's what he did at the end of this. He just said, I'm going to go in there and just brawl. And it was really cool. It was cool to see Ryan do what he does. As we know, he's like a superstar up that area as well. And realistically, if you look at his last fights, he's only lost 2 in his last 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. He's 14-2, I think, in his last 16 fights.
And
he's crushing.
Who did he lost to Pasma, and who else did he lose to?
John Manley at Ammo Fight League back in 2018.
Christ.
So 18 before Pasma.
All right, so we'll talk about possible matchups. When we go on, we're not going to be too much longer, but that card also there was another knockout, 7 seconds, Darren Mima, and I called that fight. That kid that he fought was one pro fight in, if that, or making his pro debut.
I'm pretty sure he's making his pro debut, and he was 38 years old, which is a little. More props to him. I'm 37. Yeah, 37 right now, and I wouldn't get in the cage. I feel like I'm a little too old and slow for that. But props to him for stepping in there because anyone who steps in there, you're a badass, you're a warrior. But the guy he fought, Darren Mima, is 11-9 or 11-8. Has all kinds of boxing fights and pro fights. He fought a badass dude.
I don't know how the commission lets that go, especially a pro debut. Listen, at this, I'm the Room podcast now. I could just that fight shouldn't have went on in my eyes. Why? It's just you could have fought me. It would have got the same result. You know what I mean? I think I would have lasted 7.5 seconds.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Fuck. What's fucking wrong with you people out there?
It was an interesting matchup, and but yeah, I think Mima just impressed. He came out with one thing on his mind, and he got it done.
What did he hit him? What did he hit him with to knock him out?
I gotta rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure it was just overhand right or right.
A jab, jabbed him.
But yeah, he came rushing him with punches. Got him against the cage, dropped him down, started firing down shots, and it was over. And it was literally over. It was over quicker than they walked out. But,
yeah.
I would like to see if Dustin wants to give it another shot. I know that was his first fight. I'd like to see him against somebody with more of a record like his next time. Maybe he does, a little better as well.
I think he's had some matchups that just fell through in the past, maybe locally good ones. He's fought locally and done incredibly locally. But yeah, I mean, you can't fight you can't. I don't even care. You know, it's kind of a tune-up fight coming back from so long,
Mhm.
regionally. But you can't tune up against a kid that's fucking, coming off the street, turning pro.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. On that note, I do want to mention just a few more names like Fred Lair, who won. He won in only 26 seconds, which was awesome. Ed Davis, obviously, is my most viewed video on Facebook right now on the thing. His submission was awesome, and that whole fight's really up there. Where they're both firing shots in the beginning, and Ed Davis is kind of known anyway. He's had a very exciting amateur career. People like Ed Davis, and he did just fight recently in the PFL. Didn't go his way, but I mean, you can tell he's ready. He's ready for some more. So I'm excited to see him back. I also want to throw out Anthony Vastas now on a 2-fight win streak. So that's pretty cool. And his inverted triangle was badass.
Yeah,
Badass.
he fights out of Connor Matthews, Connor Barry's gym there in Defensive Edge. Their fight team there. So Connor's doing very well. I think Connor had a couple of fighters win on Saturday night from that gym.
Yeah. Let's see, like some of the other big ones. I mean, Edwin Pena. He's my second most viewed one on there. He crushed it. Joe Peters and Curtis, I figured was going to be a great fight, and for the 1.5 rounds it lasted, it was. PJ Crawford defeating Conor Morrow. That was PJ was just aggressive in every form of the word, wrestling, striking, everything. And
how quick was that fight? Because I know Connor. I'm friends with him.
I know. I actually got the privilege to hang out with Connor after Cage Titans for a little bit last time.
Yeah.
So he's a good dude. I like him. And in this fight, it was tough.
Yeah.
Just not to get to talk to him last time, but it's lasted about 2 minutes. And it was an arm triangle choke that he got him on the ground with.
All right.
And yeah, it's
he'll be back in there. He'll be back. That kid loves the fight. I mean, he'll be back in there, man. Win or lose, man. I saw his first win at Cage Titans, so
yeah.
So it was good time. He's a good kid, win or lose. He don't give a fuck. He's just in there to have fun.
Yeah, exactly. His energy is always great. Actually, the owner Matt, the owner of Neff, shout out Matt. Thank you for having us up there. When me and Connor were walking by him, we were just shooting the shit, and he did say something like, "You guys have like the same energy. You guys are both always so positive and just bring a good energy around everybody." So it's cool. That's
nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, he gave his props to Connor as well. But I do say some days you're the bug, some days you're the windshield. So
yeah, yeah. Let's talk about some. You want to move on, or you got a couple more things you want to say?
Yeah, no, I guess that's pretty much it. Charles Sullivan won. That was pretty cool. Nate White, obviously, Jackson Campbell, Miles Emery. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, Glory Watson did her thing, and the event was called Glory Days. I actually have the little poster right there. So I mean, that was absolutely perfect for her to win on that. So
Ryan Sanders with the mullet there.
Yeah.
Hey, you mentioned Jackson Campbell. How's that kid? He won, of course, but he seems like he has a lot of energy. What'd you think of that kid?
Yeah, he does. He was very aggressive in the whole fight, and he's now on a 2-fight win streak. He won his first fight by rear naked choke. He won this one with punches, and both of these fights have happened this year. So just someone new on the scene that I think is kind of definitely cause some attention for the next 6 months. We'll see.
Excellent, man. Yeah, I see him on social media, and he's a happy kid to beat up people in there. So I like seeing that energy out of these young kids. So kudos to you, kid, man, and kudos to all the Neff fighters, man, for putting it on, and great job on Saturday night, Jeff. I was watching all your clips. I was like, you know what I mean? It's like I didn't have to really read anything. I'm like, all right, that's who won. Or, you were given, updates of little things there, man. It was really cool to watch.
Yeah, it's really cool because I feel like, Neff treats us good when we get credentialed there. Anyway, they treat us really good, and they put us in spots to make sure that our social media is doing our job, where we are getting them thousands of more views. And it's cool to be there. It's fun to watch the fights, but it is really cool to just see the extra exposure that we're giving these events and these fighters. Like, definitely some of those people who watched that video might not have heard of NEF before. Now they're going and liking their page too. So yeah, thanks Matt, thanks Nick, everyone at NEF, and we'll be at the next one in Bangor too. We'll be up there.
Excellent. Is that where the next card is going to be? Have they announced the next card?
No, I don't think that's where the next one is. February is the next one. I don't have that in front of me. I probably should.
All right, no worries. But yeah, it'll be like first of the year, that's for sure. But
yeah,
they'll be. I would imagine they'll be coming back to Portland or somewhere kind of central, so you don't have to drive 17 hours into Maine to get there.
Yeah, I love Portland. Have you been to Portland before?
Oh yeah, a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. I have a good time there.
Yeah, Portland's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about Cage Titans? You want to move on to that?
Yeah, we're going to move to Cage Titans. You did not attend because, of course, you were like, Canada, on the fucking line of Canada there. But Travis did go to Cage Titans solo, and he did play-by-play, which I checked in on that back and forth between you and UFC. And I was watching a band at the same time, so I kept, I was flying everywhere Saturday night, man. But Cage Titans, they never disappoint, man. Well, let's talk about some of that thing. I know, have a bunch of shit on Instagram, so we're gonna jump over there and talk a little bit about Cage Titans. But man, what stands out to you about that card as far as after all said and done, you got to look at some of the clips, you read the play-by-play. What stands out for you about that card?
I think two things. Number one, Joe Giannetti. I can't believe the way he finished Pat Casey. I really thought Pat Casey was going to give him a long run for his money. And a jumping head kick, like karate style, that's pretty badass to come back and do that to somebody as tough as Pat Casey. And after coming off a loss in the 155 division, just stepping back in pretty quickly. There's something to be said for that, though. Maybe stepping back in, you don't beat up your body as much with not having a training camp. Like a Tom Aspinall, he did the same thing. So, yeah, congrats to Joe. I think that was awesome. We'll talk about that again in a minute. But the second thing that stood out to me was Muse and Aaron Hughes. Jerry Muse winning that match. And that was a very highly anticipated one that I think was the people's main event. And, yeah, Jerry Muse wins. And I was literally looking at the top 10 in the area today and trying to think of who the hell I would like to see him fight next.
Jerry Muse, as you're speaking right now, he's I got Cage Titans Instagram going right now, and Jerry's giving his victory speech right here. But we're gonna flash through Aaron Trussell. He had a great fight himself. Sean Schubert comes back to Cage Titans with the small gloves Muay Thai, and he gets a knockout there and dazzles and explodes the crowd through the Memorial Hall roof, man. Good for that kid.
Yeah, whenever he fights, it's all out action. So put some small gloves Muay Thai on him. It was guaranteed to be a banger.
And he retired also from professional fighting. So, or Muay Thai, you never know. Yeah. But yeah, he retired, focusing on building Muay Thai in New England, which Sean is well on his way to doing. And we just showed the switch kick from Joe Giannetti to end the fight in the second round against Pat Casey. And, that was definitely something Joe studied in Pat's, in Pat's video. You know what I mean? He goes, and that first round, I'm sure he got a lot of intel into that fight. And, I think a lot of those big punches that Pat threw, ducking his head, I think Joe just timed one of them and caught him.
Yeah. Joe shows again that his striking is great. I mean, striking has always been his game. He's always had that kind of long karate style bounce around the ring and he's around the cage, and he's looking for that sniper shot. And that, I mean, we talked about highlight reels earlier. Like that's going to be a highlight reel for him. That's going to be in his reel. That is wild.
Speaking of highlight reels and finishes, Casey Norton finishes Joe Poirier easily at Cage Titans. Man, did you see that coming? What were you thinking about that flyweight fight, man? Casey coming from well out of the Cage Titans realm of fans into Joe Poirier's world, and he just he took him out really bad.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I expected that to be an all-out war, and for as long as it could go. And I feel like just Casey had his number. I don't know, like you said about the film, maybe they studied it, maybe they knew something, but Poirier's been on a run, and he's always excited, and he's a tough dude. So yeah, I don't. That's the fight game. You just never know. Like you never know, and like we were talking about earlier, if somebody fought 9 times, out of 10 times, what would happen? Who knows? Who knows?
A couple of pro debuts here. We had Randy Francis go against Brett Layton, a rematch from when the kids were amateurs, and they fought as pros, making their pro debut against each other. And man, it was a great fight. Went a decision, and Brett gets the nod, man, in there, in a great fight. And congratulations, man. I love to see these new amateurs, these new pros, have a great fight for that first experience. You know what I mean? It wasn't quick. He didn't take on a bum. He took on Randy Francis, who is, like a 14 fight amateur veteran. And those guys really put it out there, man. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, that's both of them. It's exciting. It must be so exciting to go pro. After these amateur fights, you can finally make a little bit of money. Not saying you're getting rich, just yet, but it must be cool to see a little nicer check after a fist fight.
Well, my man, Jeff, now 170 pounds. Joe Giannetti gets that title back after he relinquished it. Fight falls through, put that belt back up for Joe to capture, and he captures it. Who do you think he fights next? I mean, could it be Ryan Sanders from Neff? They are not going to fight. Joe is not going to fight at Neff. I don't think he's going to fight at Neff. They're going to want that fight, if it ever happens, at Cage Titans. I think that's the fight to make in New England as far as 170 pounds right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think that would be awesome. But yeah, I guess that comes back to logistics. Is Ryan coming down here, or is Joe going up there? But I mean, that would be a great fight, and that would definitely bring the crowds. Like people from Maine would travel to see fight, and people from Mass would also travel to see Giannetti fight.
Let's put it in a neutral ground. Let's put it in neutral ground against each other. You know what I mean? Trying to boost Joe into the UFC, even though he is a lightweight, that he wants to get into the UFC. This was one of the biggest highlight reels he's ever had, and it was at welterweight at Cage Titans, winning that belt again, man. Taking out Pat Casey like that. He needs a look at this point, whether it's 170 or 155. The kid's paid his dues at this point.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, I mean, I think Ryan is the best option right now. But yeah, congrats to Joe stepping in. And then with the whole Jerry Muse, also, who does he fight next? DeSalvo?
No. He's coming off a loss, right?
Oh yeah, I think so.
No. Jerry at 155. Jerry is 4-0 now, right?
He's 6-0.
6-0.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Can you look that up?
Yeah.
I think he's 4-0.
He's 6-0.
Fuck, man. If he's 6-0, he fights whoever the hell he wants.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's 6-0 right now. And he's one of those wins is from 2018, but literally all those 5 wins are from this year. Like,
that's right. Right?
Yeah. Jake Hixenbaugh, Anthony Vasta, Paul Teague, Aaron Hughes, Joshua Bonaparte, I can't say his last name, and then a win back in 2018. But he's won 5 fights this year. He fought in January, March, May, June, and then again in November. Like, he almost should be way higher up than we think.
Wow. I did not. I thought he was 3-0. I didn't. I. That's how much I'm following the kid.
He's ranked number 10 on the New England MMA rankings right now, and right above him, is Mo Al-Khanidi, Dylan Lockard, Zach DiSabanto. I just smoked 2.
Yeah, I butcher his name every time. Don't worry about it.
We got Ali Zebian, who he probably ain't going back to 155, right?
No, he's staying at 170.
Eddie George, Brandon Murat, and then we got Jacob Bone.
Well, Murat's in the UFC. Peter Barrett trains at City Otong. He's out of, so he won't fight Muse.
I feel like Mo and Muse are just 2 totally different fighters.
That's a totally different styles right there. You got jiu-jitsu against striker there. But, I mean, Mo's good on the ground, but he's not Jerry good on the ground. Twister good on the ground, you know what I mean?
So, does he even, I want him to fight local, or do they fly somebody up? Or does he fight?
Well, if they fly someone from Jerry, What
if, okay, so, Dufort.
Dufort could possibly be a matchup because Dufort, as we know, is a big jiu-jitsu guy who finished Joe in like a minute or so. Jerry's a big jiu-jitsu guy. I think that's the fight to make right now. Jerry is fucking all over the internet. Everyone loves him. I think
he's Captain America versus Canadian. This is the real.
I think Dufort against Muse is the next fight to make.
I think that would be awesome. I say you just give him a title shot, right?
Yeah, he deserves it.
Right? It's 5-0. Give him a title shot.
Is it too much too soon? I don't know, but give the kid a real challenge, man. He wins that fight, man.
Does him and Jacob Bone fight for the vacant title? If Dufort come back.
Well, no. Dufort's enjoying carrying that fucking Cage Titans title, man.
Okay.
He's not giving that up anytime soon. So he's holding that title until he gets signed by somebody, a major organization. So Dufort will come back for that title fight. And I think Jerry is the fight to make because Jerry is Cage Titans gold right now. And Dufort, as we know, was loved leaving Cage Titans. Even though Joe Giannetti is loved by Cage Titans fans, Dufort did no harm in winning that title. He's a good representative to have that title. That's a great fight right there. Even though, Dufort's got twice as many fights, it's still a fight, man. It's still a fucking great fight. That would be the best fight to make in 2024 for their first card, I believe.
I think that would be awesome. I think you get Dufort back here. You have the 5-0 2023 Jerry Muse going there, Captain America style versus the Canadian. I think that would be great. And then Dufort, he could just say he's coming for all the cage titans pros. He could start that.
He's coming to kill the Captain America. You know what I mean? He's coming to. You know what I mean? Is there any superheroes from Canada other than George St. Pierre?
I think you just pay to bring George St. Pierre here. Get Paul Bear on the phone. Tell him we need George St. Pierre after this event.
I don't know if there's a Cornelius Vanderbilt. I don't fucking know. Who's those?
I don't know.
They're all superheroes in Canada.
Yeah, true.
Oh well, that's the fight to make. I think. Wow. A lot of amateur fights in there. But next Cage Titans card, I will be there as a fan checking it out. Most definitely.
Nice.
Definitely, I'll be hanging out. I'll be front row, or I'll be with some of those heavy drinkers just sitting in the front row, getting bombed.
Yeah, stacking up the bottles.
Yes, stacking them up around, stacking up them $14 cans, them $14 beers, all over Cage Titans.
You're gonna get your face on one of those cans.
They're not gonna put my face on one of those cans unless there's a fucking unless there's a bullseye on it. Hey, what about? All right. We'll leave off on this. What about the dude that got the fever? They had his fucking his face on the can. He never even made the fight against Mitch Raposo.
Oh yeah, that was very shocking to everybody there because they announced it like a couple fights into the event. So yeah.
See, I don't know anything about the commission and the doctors or how they like check people's vitals before fights and stuff like that. But are they checking their vitals constantly before, like, even 2 fights before or whatever, 3, 4 fights before they're supposed to go on? What do you have? Give him a bare aspirin. Give him a children's buffering. What happened with the fever?
I know that is strange. I forget who it was. Probably Chael Sonnen because he's such, he's friggin' Chael Sonnen. But I think he was pulling out of a fight. Like, we all get injured anyway. You're going in with just an injury, but you're gonna get injured anyway. I'm like, oh, okay, but that's something Chael Sonnen would say,
Yeah, I don't know how flying him in the day before he was like loving the face on the can. And did you see my little meme I put up? I said, the guy's probably drinking all the beers with his face on it. I'm roaming around Plymouth right now. Fucking. Dude, come on. Fuck.
I think we talked to Mike. I think we get you on the can.
Yeah, no, we don't get. Yeah, I'll be sitting on the toilet can. That's what I am. That's where I am. That's Steve on the can. No one remembers me. You're a flash in the pan. So, anything else you want to leave off with? What time is it? Yeah, we got going late, but we were talking for a little while.
Yeah, that was good. What else do I want to mention? Oh, yeah. I'm going to Combat Zone this weekend.
Oh, I didn't know that. So.
Yeah.
We'll have
I'm going to Combat Zone. They are having their card in Manchester, New Hampshire. Have you been? Have you been to one of those?
Yes, I've been to a bunch in Manchester. I haven't been to any recently, but I've been to a lot there. It's great.
So I like it because they give me a table out back, but the table's lifted. So you can see over everybody. You don't people standing up. You don't have to worry about it. So it's cool. It's cool to have that extra. But yeah, they do their events in Manchester at the DoubleTree right downtown. It's cool because you go pregame at the Thirsty Moose across the street if you want to, and before you go to the fights. But Nick Fiore is returning. He was on an undefeated an undefeated winning streak locally. And then he lost his 2 UFC fights, but he's getting right back to it. I mean, as we see, sometimes you get up there, you fall off, and then you can get right back in. So this is his chance to get back in. But the guy he's fighting is no can. It's no just let's get him back in and get him a win. This guy's a beast. He just beat a local favorite, Eddie George.
Shit.
Yeah, the guy he's fighting just beat Eddie George back in May by a Peruvian necktie in round 3. So you can tell he's tough. He's got his thing. And before that, so basically his last 6 fights, he's 5-1. So the the guy's an animal. He's 10-4 overall. So Nick, I feel like only takes tough fights, and this is just another one. You know, like his recent fights have been all really tough, and I feel like this is just another one just to help him get to the next level.
Well, I just popped up Combat Zone's Instagram, and a fight that just popped up, a poster, is Tyler Smythe against Jacobo Opito. And I love Jacobo Opito, and Tyler Smythe can suck my asshole. So
yeah, is he the one that
told me fuck Steve. Yeah, so he can lick my ass, and Jacobo Opito, I hope, wipes his ass. So with that said, let's keep going.
That's great. That's great. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I mean, Combat Zone, you know, they always deliver. It's the new president there is Calvin Kattar, who's obviously a UFC contender. So it's cool to see him walking around. The other guy, and again, I'm going to butcher this last name. I'm going to get better at these names as I get more into the local MMA. But Tom
Pagalero.
Pagalero, okay, yeah. He's fighting for the vacant featherweight title. He's fighting Oliver Morad. I don't know him too much. He's 6-2 though. So there's like 3 title fights this weekend at Combat Zone. Chris Motino's on the card. He's coming back. He's the one who fought Sean O'Malley in the UFC.
Yep, Chris I know very well from the whole area.
Yeah, Lindsay Kelly's back. She's fighting Michelle Marquez. Michelle Marquez is 2-0. That's going to be a great fight. The welterweight championship is on the line too, the amateur. And then Teddy Politis is fighting for the bantamweight championship.
Yeah, I just passed his poster a second ago. I'm just flashing through some of them.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that one. There's a lot of just great fights on this card. A lot of sleepers that if you weren't paying attention and reading the fight card, this is going to be a great fight. They start super early too, which I really like. The doors open at 3:30, and the bouts start at 5 o'clock. I think the main event and stuff they wait till 7. They try to push it, like the main cards and stuff. But starting at 5 o'clock is amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I don't get out of work until about 4, so it'd be tough for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, still, I love them early cards because I get out of work and I can watch it fairly early and go to bed and get up for work the next day.
Yeah, I think this will be a fun card, and if anybody out there wants to support local MMA, definitely log on. They have their pay-per-view link right on their Facebook and Instagram right now, so you can pre-order it and get ready. And there's a lot of good fights. There's like 3 titles on the line. The main event, Nick Fiore, and Combat Zone, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Well, my man, wear your battle hat because Tyler Smythe might be looking for you after he's fucking seeing stars after the first fucking round. So. He ain't looking for me. He better fucking, he better get his dad to drive him to fucking Rhode Island if he's looking for me.
Oh, man. Well, yeah. I think that's it for the local fights.
Well, man, great way to leave off, man. I'm happy. So, Jeff, here's what's going to happen. Well, Tommy couldn't make it tonight because he went to Tool in Boston tonight, which I can't, say you got the tickets to Tool, man. I'm not even going to a wedding. I'm going to fucking Tool. Travis went to Tool tonight. But next week, Tommy will be back. Oh, no, he won't. So next Wednesday is going to be Thanksgiving Eve. So I'm going to be out and about. So there will be no podcast on Wednesday. When is Combat Zone? Next, when is it?
It's this Saturday.
This what?
Saturday. So
next Friday, do you want to do next Tuesday night or next Friday night, you want to do a podcast recap?
On Tuesday, so it's before the holiday.
You want to do Tuesday night? We'll recap Combat Zone.
Yeah, let's do something Tuesday.
All right.
Talk about Combat Zone, and talk about it.
All right, we'll definitely do that about 8:30 on Tuesday night.
Sounds good.
All right, my man. I'll talk to you in between then, man, and we'll be looking forward to your play-by-play videos or whatever. Going out of Combat Zone on NewEnglandMMA.org. Like I said, I still love you guys. I'm still fucking supporting. Keep doing the thing. You know what I mean? But, you know, now that I moved out, I can, you know, I can talk about people sucking dick and shit like that. You know what I mean? That I want. So.
Yes. Oh man!
All right, Jeff, man. Awesome talking to you, man. It was a good time, man. We'll definitely chat again on Tuesday night. I'll be watching your shit going on this weekend, man. But with that said, man, great show, man. Great chatting. Thanks for saving my show tonight and coming on, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Combat Zone 82, Manchester, Hampshire this weekend.
All right, don't go anywhere. We out of here. Check us out everywhere. The Room Podcast. We're floating everywhere. With that said. Jeff fucking